Okay. I don't know how this is my first time recording a live on my laptop. I just got out the shower and my bed's a mess. I don't care. But I don't know. I wanted to get on live because if I sit down and sit in front of a camera and try to record, then I'm not going to upload because that has happened several times. I have several videos I don't have uploaded because I didn't feel like going through the process of taking off my camera and stuff like that. But I was in the shower having shower thoughts, and I was just like, it is, I don't know, you ever ask God for something and you don't get it until like years later, and then you sit back and you like, I asked for that like years ago. You like it takes so long for you to get that thing that you forgot you even asked for it. So I was just thinking about stuff like that, and I'm like, it's crazy because you'll sit there and you'll think like, maybe it's because it's Sunday, I don't know, but you'll sit there and you'll think that God is not listening to you and stuff like that, but it's like he is listening to you. It's just he's not giving you the stuff when you want it, which is like, okay, you don't have to give it to me, but damn. Because this year, a lot of things took me by surprise. A lot of things took me by surprise, and I was like, I never even imagined myself in this role or whatever. Like the beginning of this year, sometime in January, I got the flu. So like I was sick or whatever. Then like before I got sick, I did an interview for like a volunteer position or whatever. It's just volunteer work or whatever, because I wanted to do volunteer work and get paid, you know, kill two birds with one stone. So I did that. The girl really liked me. I couldn't start doing the volunteer work when I was supposed to because I got the flu, so I couldn't do it. And then, like, I guess I impressed her so much that this other job opportunity opened up, and she gave them my information, like my resume and stuff or whatever, and just like recommended me. I got the job without even doing an interview or anything. Didn't really even know what the job really was until I got there. So it was a position to be the legislative assistant for one of the representatives or whatever. Girl, I don't do politics. Like, I don't do fucking politics. I don't. I try to stay away from that stuff. Like, even though it's stuff that affects me, and I don't want to sound ignorant or anything like that, but I just don't like dealing with it because people gonna have their views. People gonna think what they want to think, stuff like that. I don't like it. I can have a conversation about it. Don't get me wrong, I can. But I never saw myself working that close in politics. Like, that job was like, you get there, the first week I got there, I was told that I was in charge of, what was the thing called? I was in charge of coordinating an event, a press conference. I was in charge of 2 interns. Like, it was a lot. And I just sat back and I thought about it. That job came out of nowhere. I'm the supervisor at a restaurant, and constantly I was telling my coworkers, I was like, you know what? I done graduated college. Like, I want an adult job. Like, this job don't feel like an adult job. Like, yeah, I have the title of like, okay, supervisor or whatever like that, but it didn't feel like it was real. Like, it felt like a play type thing. So every time I came to work, every time I was outside of work, I was like, I want an adult job. I want to be working in the office. I want to be like more hands-on, like doing important stuff. Didn't say what exactly I wanted to be doing. I just said, I want a more adult job. Lo and behold, I get that job. It was temporary because I prayed for temporary jobs. Because I don't want to stay here. Like, I really, honest to God, I want to leave Tallahassee. I want to leave Quincy area. I want to leave. Eventually, I want to leave out of Florida and go someplace. I just don't know where I want to go exactly. And I really wish God would tell me where to go. that really feels like home, because this place does not feel like home to me. But yeah, I wasn't specific. I just was like, I want something temporary so that when I'm ready to leave, I can just go or whatever. So the legislative assistant job was a temporary job. So I was able to work that, paid hella good money. Hella good money. Got there, like, my boss was horrible, but the job itself was really good. Like, the people that you're surrounded by, like, it made you feel important because people was kissing ass. So wasn't expecting that, but like, of course, in order for them to get to her, they had to go through me. So like, that type of thing. Then that job was OPS. So worked that job. It ended on the 9th of March. And so I started I had like a week break, and then I started my other job that I had got hired for, which was Florida Department of Correction. So I worked for the state. So I got that job. That job was manifested as well. And it's just like, you manifest these things. And then I look back on when I was like in school, like when I was in elementary or whatever. Like, I've been every size. I've been fat, I've been skinny, I've been anorexic, I've been overweight, I've been all of those things or whatever. And so when I was in school, like, I was really like, when I was in elementary school, I wanted to be like a princess. Like, I wanted to be like a queen or whatever. Like, I wanted to be in the parades, and like, you get dressed up and all this stuff like that. And I just felt so hurt every year. Like, in elementary, I would not get, like, that does something to a child. Like, I kept on saying, like, why can't I be on the like in the parade and stuff? I wouldn't say like voice these things out loud, but I would say it to myself. Like, I wanted to do those things. I wanted to be that girl. So I get out of elementary school and I go to middle school. Didn't even really try. Like, I was just like, elementary just kind of put me off on even trying to be like, on a flow, like whatever. So elementary like passes, middle school comes, and I am a queen for 2 years straight. Princess and queen, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but I was Mrs. 7th grade and Mrs. like the name of the school I went to was Crossroads. So Mrs. 7th grade, Miss Crossroads. So I got to, for 2 years, I got to be Royal Court. Didn't even really try to be messed up, getting dolled up and stuff like that. Didn't get it. Got her. And it's like, God will sometimes, like, he won't give you the things that you want, like, right away, like right in that moment. But it's like he has a way of giving it to you eventually. And I keep trying to remind myself that, because I get so irritated. I get so irritated with life because you don't know where life is going to take you. And at this point in my life, it's like, I don't really know specifically what I want to do. All I know is I want to have a job where I get paid to travel. I get paid to enjoy life, experience different cultures, and I'm making crazy money doing it. And I want to be able to record that job and, like, document it and upload videos for you all. And I want to meet amazing people and, like, get great editing skills or whatever, be around people who do music, be around people who do art and stuff like that, like create friends so that I can, like, create a brand for myself and do like all these things. And then it's like, I work so much, like I work 2 jobs and I do all these things. Then when it comes to YouTube, I'm to this point where I don't be feeling like, recording on my camera, like, and that's better quality than this or whatever. But it's like, every time when I record on my camera, I never like upload it to YouTube. So it's like is your PMD getting better? Hey Naya. My PMD is better. I have my times. I really do. I went through something like really, I didn't really even want to talk about it, but I went through something. I'm suffering from the same thing. Yeah, it's really like, that's what I should have got on live before and did like that. So, because I've gotten a lot of girls and stuff like that come on here and they say they suffer from PMDD, and people don't really take it serious because, of course, they say like girls when they're on their cycle or whatever, they're supposed to get like emotional and whatnot, but they don't understand it's to another level. I do have those thoughts that I've had before and stuff. I don't know how to explain it. I do not know how to explain it. Like I could, if I eventually I'm gonna tell y'all what I went through. You can probably guess what I went through. But yeah, I noticed when I was going through that, then I didn't have the symptoms. Like I didn't have those emotional outbursts as much. I did have it. What? I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications of comments and stuff. Oh, okay. But yeah. I still have those thoughts. And I feel like it's kind of because PMDD, it mimics depression. So I do have those thoughts and some days because I had a breakdown a couple months back, and I was just like, if you're not, I went through a bad breakup, and that along with it, yeah, yeah, breakups and stuff, they do kind of make it worse because it kind of like instead of us thinking like, okay, it's a breakup, we think about it at a more severe level. Like we start thinking bad about ourselves. We start thinking like, what did you do wrong? Like think about our looks and stuff like that. Like, oh, I look like this or I don't look good. Like stuff, we start escalating the thoughts and that it put us in a deeper depression than what we should be or what's normal, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. I can't remember if it was like last month before then. It couldn't have been. I don't know. But I did have a breakdown. I just was like, I'm so tired. Like I kept like everything is like it's multiplied, you know. As far as like stuff that stresses you out, it's like it's multiplied. It's at a higher level. So I'm like, okay, could you just stop waking me up at this point? Like I kept telling God, I'm like, I'm tired of waking up. Like I don't want to wake up anymore. Like if you're not gonna make things better, then please stop waking me up. Like that's how I felt. Like I'm too much of a coward to like take my own life because if you ever find me dead, I did not do it myself. Somebody else did it. I'm just gonna put that out there because I cannot. I have I've mentioned before I have had like attempts or whatever when I was younger because I was going through a lot of things when I was younger. I did attempt, but I could never go through with it because I always had this feeling that there was something better out there. I always had this feeling that I'm supposed to do something more. Like I always had that feeling. I just didn't know what exactly I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to get to it, but I always knew that I'm supposed to be doing something. So even when I had those thoughts and even when I tried to make those thoughts into actions, I could not do it because I was like, Shannon, you're going to do something great when you get older. Like you're going to do something so amazing. And that feeling has kept me here. Because a lot of people didn't know that I was doing those things, but I could have been gone and nobody would even know because I didn't like voice it. Like I have said before, like I really don't. I just want to end this all. I've made statements like that before, but I'm not going to do it because I know I have a bigger purpose. It's just me venting. And sometimes people take venting as like, oh, dang, we need to watch out for her. But I'm venting. Like I don't have the, like I'm not going to sit there and end my life because I know things are like temporary. So I don't know. And then like I was saying before, like I do realize that sometimes we might go through like, you know, like what you just said, what's your name? I'm gonna call you Riri because that's what it looks like it said. Like you were saying, Riri, like you're going through a breakup or whatever. It's temporary, honestly. Like it's temporary. And we don't realize that in the moment that it's temporary, but obviously it is because we've had relationships when we was like in elementary, middle school, high school, in our adult lives, kids. Like we've had relationships, we had friendships, and when we were going through those feelings at the moment, we didn't think like we thought that it was the end of the world or it hurt our feelings or it crushed our feelings and stuff like that. But we eventually got over, we eventually moved on, we eventually like dated other people, experienced new things. Like it's not the end of the world. But in that moment it kind of feels like it, but we know it's not because life has proven it. Life has proven that it's not the end of the road. Like you're gonna meet other people, more things are gonna come. I do understand that in the moment it's hard, and that's why I say like if you need to cry, cry. Like if you need to vent, vent. I do, however, wish that I did have more friends that I could like, you know, get out the house more when I am in those feelings, but I don't have it. Yeah. But I really don't have too many friends that I can do those type of things with. I do feel like I do have, like, I don't, my friend, like Trevor, he know, I feel like we all have those friends, they have their own transportation and stuff like that, but they don't, like, when you go out with them, you're the driver, even though both of y'all have cars, you're always the driver. That's how it is with me and Trevor. Like, if we do go out, he know he gonna be driving most of the time, because I just want to chill. So it's like, I be feeling like I want people to come get me and we can go out. But I be too lazy to actually go and drive, which I need to get out of that because I got a brand new car. They sent me a letter in the mail saying like you should be on your 4,000 miles. Yeah, I still got 2,000 something miles on my car. So I'm below the standards of what the car people think you should be on when you have a brand new car. Because that means I don't go nowhere. Like all I go is to work and back home. But yeah, I do wish I had friends to come to and like talk to about stuff. And I do have people that I can talk to, but it's like I don't want to keep on, like you have people around you, but you still feel alone. And then when you want to talk about stuff, you don't want to like bring their mood down or nothing like you just don't want to burden people. So that's why I find myself like when I was younger, I used to get on YouTube and vent about stuff that was going on because I really didn't like have anybody to talk to in my daily life, and I didn't want to like burden them with what I was feeling and what I was going through. It is easier, and that's what I was praying about. Like I was in the shower just talking to God, like I was just in there talking because I'm just realizing things like I don't want, like I could care less if I'm in a relationship at this point in my life. I know this sounds bad because I am in one, but I know it sounds bad. But I could care less. Like I want, at this point in my life, I would prefer to have friends over having a significant other. Friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, like not like couple, but like friend girl, friend boy, that type of friend. Because those are people that they're more lifetime. You can date somebody and break up and then y'all can still be friends and stuff like that afterwards. But it's more risky because you might still have feelings and stuff. Like it's more risky. I want to be surrounded by more people like that are actually friends that I could like go out places with, no strings attached. Like we're not doing nothing intimate or whatever. We just being cool. I'm their diary, they're my diary. Like we just having fun and stuff like that. Because I feel like as far as PMDD goes, like stuff like that, our emotions and stuff, it'll be easier to handle if we actually had people around us that made us feel like we have love. Yeah, like if we actually, without a doubt, we're loved. And I feel like I've pushed people away so much in my life. Like I will dead relationships. That's one thing about me. I may talk about how I've been done wrong and stuff like that. I've done people wrong too. I want to be the first person to tell you. I'm not that, and that's the thing that I get confused about sometimes when people leave comments or have left comments in the past about. I know what person it is that has left the comments. They just use different profiles to leave the comments. I have never tried to get on here and make it seem like I am innocent. I have never tried to get on here and make it seem like I am the holier than thou. Never. Like I don't even claim a religion. I say that I'm spiritual. So I don't get on here and act that type of way because I know I'm a human. I know I'm flawed. I do, however, share how I felt in certain situations or how I feel. And then I do realize that karma has come back to me in certain situations, just like with any human. But it's like people try to make it seem like I'm this angel. Maybe because I have a young face or something, or just looking at me, you think like, okay, you people in general, they will develop their own feelings towards who you are and how you are and everything. Like they will look at you and they will try to read you and they will try to, get these perceptions. And that's not me. Girl, when I say I can relate to you so much, you are describing life. I believe so much it is my karma. Yeah, it's karma, and I know it's karma. And Because I done did some shady stuff or whatever. My first time ever cheating, I cheated because my boyfriend cheated on me. And regardless of the fact that it was me trying to get back at him or whatever, like it's still, you still gonna get karma off of that. So I don't like, I get on here, I state my cheating experience, like my cheat, not cheating, but me getting cheated on. I've been a cheater before, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I like it's wrong. I was wrong. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't know that. I don't know what they talking about. Y'all commenting on my YouTube stuff. I don't know what y'all talking about, honestly. Cause I'm not about to go into the videos. But I'm not about to like act like I'm holier than thou. I've had situations, like I look back on it, like, and I wanted to make, because it was one day I was like, well, it wasn't even one day, it was recent. It was like the other night. I was thinking, like, what made Shannon? Like, why do I react to certain situations the way I react to them? And then it's like my sister, she also says that I think like a dude. Like, I have a very like strong dude mentality. I always went after the popular guys and did wrong to the good guys who actually wanted me, and the popular no good guys. And the girl. Who are you telling? But I wouldn't even go after him. But this is what I was about to say. What I was about to say. Let me get this off my screen. It's like this notification that popped up. But what I was about to say, Riri, you are reading my mind. What I was about to say was that I kept like the ex that cheated on me. I did a video about that years ago. Like, I used like a mannequin head and a teddy bear and stuff like that. He was popular. He did dancing or whatever. He approached me. He came to me. And this is one thing that I feel like I do. I feel like I read the signs from God wrong. Because in that situation, he approached me at a party and he just did this weird thing. And I just had to find out who this guy was. So I pursued him to try to find out who this guy was. Because he approached me at a party and I didn't even know him or whatever. I just knew he danced, but I didn't like know him. So I just found that so weird, and I tried to find him, like find out who he was and why he did that. So that's how that relationship even started, because I was like, was this a sign? Like, he came to me, and then I pursued him after that, and whatever. And that was like my first love, my first butterflies and all of that. But I was thinking about this situation, that this relationship I always talk about, and I always get passionate about this relationship. And I'm like, Shannon, like, why every time you talk about this, like every time you come to YouTube and you talk about this, you always pointing out the bad things. Like, you always like, I don't think I ever sat here and talked about what did he do to catch me? Like, what qualities did he show that caught me and stuff like that? And I felt like, I'm like, okay, you were kind of bashing. I wasn't trying to bash him. I was not trying to do that. I was just passionate about how I was feeling. And I get that way. I get passionate when I'm talking. Y'all should realize that by now. I'm a very passionate person. So I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, this was somebody, I guess you can call him popular as well. He came to me. And the situation was brought up because after me and the other guy broke up, the new person messaged me on social media, and we started talking. Like, I wasn't even attracted to him. When I first met him, I didn't even realize I met him, because I had tunnel vision. Like, when I'm really, really, really into a person, I have tunnel vision. That's the only person I see. Like, I don't care about nobody else. They may think such and such is flirting with you, whatever. I don't care. I see you. I don't care about nobody else. I see you. So the cutest person in the world could approach me and be flirting like crazy with me. I will not see them, because I love you. I like you so much. Like, I only see you. So when the other guy that I made all these little cry your heart out videos about, when he approached me, I didn't even notice him. Like, even when he hit me up on social media, like, this was back in MySpace days, I didn't even exactly, Riri, but I didn't think nothing of it. I had no feelings. I was not attracted to him. I didn't even know I had a type, but he wasn't my type at that point. So he started coming around more. We was talking on the phone to like for hours, like to morning time or whatever, you know, like you have those conversations. And he was just telling me a bunch of stuff about himself. And like, you know, we just had conversations like for hours. Every time he came to my high school, he made me a CD. Because I remember, I'm the same way I see him. Destiny's so stupid. She said, I'm the same way. I see no nigga, hear no nigga. But but yeah. So he started doing stuff, and I didn't even like when I sit back and I think about it, I'm like, okay, this is how he wooed me. Because he came into my life in a situation where I was vulnerable. And the person I was with, I barely got to see them because they didn't have transportation. They didn't live, like, we didn't go to the same school. He didn't live like in my area, all of these things or whatever. So we didn't really see each other that much, but I was so attached to him. Like I was so into him. So when I broke up with him because I found out about the cheating, like this other person comes and I'm still not even, like, I'm not even aware of you. Like, who are you? but he was good conversation. What I was saying, we had this, I remember I was in this, my teacher name is Brady. She was the sweetest person to me. Like, she did a lot of stuff for me when I was in high school. Well, not a lot of stuff, but she just was very understanding of how I am. So she had this assignment where she told us to like make a CD or make songs or get music together that described us and tell the class why those songs are descriptive of who we are and things like that. So he made me a CD. I told him a few songs to put on there, and then he put other songs on there, whatever. And I was just like, like his taste is cool as fuck. Didn't even like nothing. Every time we hung out, it was me and him, me and his homeboys or whatever. I felt like one of the boys. I didn't think nothing of it at all. And so I was sitting there the other night just thinking, like, how the fuck did y'all even get to the point where y'all became like this? Like, where we at now, like not even talking, like dead. And then I was thinking like how we first started, like that first chapter. So he was around, like we saw each other every single day. Every single day we saw each other. He would come over my house and sit with my family. He had fixed stuff around the house for my mom, like I think the TV and stuff like that. I had cooked for him. Like I seriously was not even into him like that. Like we were just cool. Like we would come, like I would go around him and his homeboys. Like he would bring me around them, and we would just talk. Like I would listen to them, like B-boys, like all that stuff like that. It took us a while to even have a first kiss, and that's the thing. I'm like meeting somebody and being friends first. I feel like I can say all I want that the people I dated in my past were my friends first, but then when I think about it, when I actually sit down and think about it, I'm like, were they really my friends first? Or did we always go into the situation liking each other and we always knew, like, so we knew from the jump that we were going to try to shoot for our relationship? And I thought to myself, I'm like, no, we weren't really truly friends first. Like, even when I was dating Mariah, like, we weren't friends completely first. Like we did talk for a little bit, like a little while before she was like, you're gonna be my girlfriend. She told me from the beginning I was gonna be her girlfriend. Like she told me from the jump, like even though we didn't have a title in the beginning, like she told me from the jump, you're gonna be my girl. So I thought about it. I'm like, that was the first relationship where we were genuinely friends first. That was the first relationship where I was not attracted to this person, but I grew to be attracted to them because we actually spent time with each other. So like I said, we would talk on the phone a lot. We would text all the time. He would come over my house every single day. He used to come to my house at night and we would sit on top of the car and like we would sit on the hood of his car and he would grab me, like I'll sit in the middle of his legs and he'll put his arms around my waist or whatever. And we would just look up at the stars and we would like talk about what we want to do for the future, like what we saw ourselves doing like in the future and stuff like that. Like that was like our ritual, like every time. And I remember when he graduated, he gave me this star necklace or whatever. And it probably didn't even mean nothing, Like, but I thought about it. I'm like, this is one of the first things that we did to bond, was to look at the stars and talk about like what we wanted to do and how we saw our futures. Like, we actually sat there and did things like that. We were always around each other. I remember I can't remember what, and that's crazy. I was going through something that really hurt me. And he didn't even know about it, but he had asked me, like he asked his mom or something, if I could go to Wild Adventures with them or something. And I'm just in my head, I'm like, he don't know what I'm going through, but I really need this trip. And we went to, I think it was around Halloween, because they did like a haunted house at Halloween, like at Wild Adventures. It was stuff like that. It was like every time when I turned around and he was there, like he was just always there. Like, he was the first person that I was truly like intimate with. He gave me a lot of first or whatever. Yeah. So that was actually the first person I actually started out with as being friends with. And I'm like, Shannon, that's why. Because y'all actually sat down and talked to each other. Y'all actually sat down and got to know each other. I feel like in this generation, we will sit here and we will like what we see, and we will like the idea of a person, and then we'll get with a person without really even knowing them, without like actually, trying to like look at them and be like, okay, do I like this? Do I like that? Did this annoy me? Can I put up with this? We don't like actually sit there and analyze the people we're with. We just see like, oh, I like you. I want you to be my boyfriend. I want you to be my girlfriend. We don't actually pursue people like how we should. And it wasn't even like a pursuit thing. On my end, I was not attracted to him. Like, I will tell anybody that, like, I did not notice him. When I first saw him, I did not notice him. I did not even know we had met before. I did not know who he was. I knew of the name. I knew his name, but it didn't click in my head that that's the person that we had actually like met. So like when I saw him when he messaged me on social media, like that's when I kind of put one and two together. I'm like, oh, I think I did meet him before. I don't know. Like, I wasn't sure. I was just venting to him, like we was talking or whatever, because of the situation that had went down. But he was not my type. He developed into my type because he was a good person. Like, he was good. And it's like every time, like as the years went on, life went on, drama started happening, and every time I'll be like, I don't like drama. Drama actually makes me physically sick. The last time that I had drama in my life was in January, and I got the flu soon after. It makes me sick. It genuinely makes me sick. So I was just, every time I told him, I was like, I do not want to be a part of drama. I don't want this. Please, could you just please focus on her and leave me alone? I would stop. I would not text him anymore. I would not talk to him on the phone. I would not put myself in a situation where I would see him in person. Like, all of those things. Several times I did those things. Every time he would come back around. At one point, he wasn't even living here, and he popped up at my house when I was living at my mom's house. And I didn't even try to have the reaction I had, but I had that reaction. And when I sit back and I think about it, like, why was I so happy? Why was I so, like, filled with joy seeing him? And it's because he was there. He was there. And I grew up not having a lot of people that were there. And with him, I didn't really talk to him about my problems or whatever, but he kind of served as a getaway. Like, I would sit there most of the time and listen to his problems or listen to stuff that he's been through and stuff, whatever. Like, I would not really voice to him what I was going through. Like, it made me feel comforted, like that somebody wanted to talk to me, especially somebody who you would think would be so like closed off or whatever. He used to like open doors for me. Like, hold, like any chance he got, he just, like, he wanted to hold me. Like, it just was so cute to me. Like, all these things. And I sit back and I think about it. Like, the first time we actually went on a date, I didn't even know it was going to be a date. I was unaware. I got tricked into it. When I think about it, it's so funny because we were supposed to, like I said, I hung out with him and his homeboys all the time. Like I felt like I was one of the boys. So we were supposed to go to the movies. I cannot remember what movie it was, but I know it was a Marvel movie. It had to be a Marvel movie because we stayed going to see Marvel movies when they came out. So we went to the movies. I wish I could remember what movie it was because that'll give me like a better perception of what year this was. But we went to the movies and he would pick me up because, of course, I didn't have a car back then. He picked me up. I'm thinking that we're going to meet his cousin at the movie theater. I get in the car with him. He called his cousin and he's like, oh, what is it? Shannon, girl, I swear this describes my ex in that situation. Girl, we all go through it. That's why I like sharing with y'all because I feel like we can all relate to each other. People so quiet about stuff that they've gone through that they just don't, you wouldn't know that y'all relate because you don't speak on it. But as I was saying, so I get in the car with him and he calls I think his cousin called him and was like, I guess they were saying that they're going to meet us at the movies or something. He was like, oh, I can't go tonight because such and such happened, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, wait. Like, I'm like, what? Like, I thought we was going to the movies, like, as a group, you know? Like, it threw me off. So we get to the movies, and I'm just like, I didn't even say nothing about it. I just let it slide. I'm like, okay, maybe he just didn't want to be around his cousin and his cousin's girl or whoever the hell was coming with him. So we get there. I'm not cold at all. He asked me if I was cold. I was not cold at all. Like I said, no. And he still like wrapped his arm, like he made me lay on him, like wrapped his arm around me and stuff like that. Like he did cute things like that all the time. And then he got along with my youngest sister and my older brother. And that's one thing when I go into relationships, I'm kind of like skeptical of because my youngest sister, she has myoclonus syndrome, and then my older brother, he is bipolar and stuff, and he acts like really different. And my youngest sister, like she has like speech impediment and all that stuff like that. So he was always around us and they got along, like all of them got along with him very well. And it's like looking at that, like somebody who you're truly happy with, you had a lot of firsts with, did sweet things for you, and he gets along with your family, most important. And people like the person who secretly messages, like who sends comments or whatever whenever I make a video or made videos regarding different situations with us, they were like, why, like, move on, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why does certain stuff remind you of him, like that situation? I'm like, because he wooed you. Why don't you remember that? Like, why are you blocking that out? Like, he was not a bad guy. And he told me from the beginning how he was, because like I said, we started out as friends. He told me all his little dirt that he used to do, that he has done. And those would have been warning signs to anybody else. But I was not trying to pursue him. I was not trying to be in a relationship with him. I was not trying to do none of that. So even though he did give me warning signs, because we had these one-on-one talks and he told me about the dog stuff that he done did in the past and like all this stuff, he told me all of this. I was aware of all of this, but it's the fact that I was not trying to pursue him that it didn't click in my head. So when all this other stuff started happening, when we actually did, come together and decide that we like each other, it shouldn't have been a surprise. Because he told me how he was. It's just when we first met, I had no interest in him. But then I developed interest because of like the relationship, the bond that we started having with each other. So it's like, I do realize now that in order for me to actually, be in a place where I am genuinely like, back at that tunnel vision. The only way for me to be back at that is for me to be like genuinely be friends with a person first before trying to be with them or whatever. Getting to know a person, because I feel like that was y'all, I treat people how they treat me. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was living with him, like I was all him. Like And then stuff started happening. And I started back talking to people who I was talking to before I had moved with him. Because I was like, this is not a relationship. This can't be a relationship. Because if this was a relationship, then certain stuff would have not happened or whatever. So I can't, I can't be hard on him. And I retaliated by talking to exes too, and that's one thing I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, she's trying to act like a perfect angel or whatever. If you ask me something, I will admit to it. If it's the truth. I cannot lie to a person's face. I cannot. If I don't want to tell you something, I will be quiet or I will not say anything. I cannot lie to a person's face. I cannot type out a lie to a person either. I will just not say anything at all. So I will be the first to admit my wrongs. And in most situations when stuff happens, I don't blame the other person. I blame myself first. I will, however, express how the situation made me feel because I went through years of keeping stuff bottled up, I went through years of not telling people how I feel or expressing like my thoughts and stuff like that. And that shit is not good. I would encourage anybody, if you have some type of way to get your feelings out, to get your emotions out, do it. And I feel like that's one reason why I do have those moments, like the PMDD, stuff like that. I feel like that's why sometimes my emotions and stuff are so strong when that time of the month comes, because I spent years holding stuff in and not saying nothing. And it's like when I got older, that's when I'm like, bitch, I'm not keeping my mouth closed no more. No more. It's this girl, I allow her to say a bunch of stuff to me. And since I knew that he cared about her, I would let it slide. I wouldn't say nothing. Like, I would just be quiet. Like, I wouldn't say nothing. And it's like, that's not fair to me. Exactly. But like, that's not fair to me. But at the same time, I don't like drama. I don't like, it was pointless to me because several times, like in her eyes, with the situation with him, in her eyes, she felt like I was the one that kept on pursuing him and jumping to him or whatever. Is that my door? Of course, okay. Of course, I was making videos and stuff. Like, this is even before I started making videos in regards to us. She just, for some reason, always assumed that I was the one pursuing him. No. I think at one point he told her that I lied about my age or something like that. I have never lied to anybody about my age at all. I am 23. When me and him first started talking, I think I was like 15 or 16. I have never lied about my age. I'm straightforward about stuff like that. Seriously. So it was situations like that. Like, I found out that he had been making smart remarks about me, like, what if me and Shannon, blah, 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 this, and the third. Like I said, I saw him as a friend. I was not attracted to him. So in her head, it's like she felt like I was pursuing him, like I was going after him. No, I was not. Like, it got to the point where every time when we would hang out with each other, like, I'm thinking we're going to have other people with us. He would always set it up so it'd be just me and him. So in her head, it's like, this girl will not let me be. She will not let me be. Like, she won't let me have my man. It was several times where I told him to leave me alone and be with her. I told him, stop trying to date other people when you know you're still attached to her. I told him this several times. And that's what it pissed me off. Like, I feel like that's why I get so passionate, or that's why I've gotten so passionate in my past videos pertaining to this topic, was because I gave him several times. Like, several times I told him, leave me alone and be with her. Like, just focus on her. Leave me alone. Several times I did that, and every time he kept coming back. And then I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a hopeless romantic, because a lot of stuff is like BS to me. But like I said earlier, I guess I read God's signs wrong. Because every time he would end up coming back to me, somehow we would always come back to each other. Somehow. It never failed. We always came back to each other. Like, I wouldn't reach out to him, but he would reach out to me every single time. There has never been a time where I reached out to him first. And I kept reading that wrong because I felt like if a man is pursuing you, if a man is coming after you or coming back to you, that means that man wants you. And I was young. Like, I felt that way. Like, I was like, I keep telling him to leave me alone and go to her, but he keeps coming back to me. How else are you supposed to take that? So the passion and the frustration, it came from the fact that this person had a chance to do what I told them to do, which was to leave me. And they kept coming back to me. And it frustrated me because I didn't have to go through that if they would have just stayed with that person and left me alone like I asked to be. Like, I asked to be left alone. I asked to just like, I asked him to just focus on her. And I told him to stop trying to date other people and focus on her because she's not going anywhere. Because half of the stuff that you did to me, I'm not going to take it, but she might take it because she really wants, like, she feels like y'all are meant to be. So she's not going anywhere and you're allowing her to be there. So why don't you just focus on her? And I feel like that's the part that she never understood. Several times I tried to tell him to just go to focus on you. Regardless of the feelings that I had developed for him, I kept telling him to go to her. But you're not going to tell her that. She's just going to keep thinking that I want her man. I didn't want him. Like, if he was 100% like just blank slate and ready to love somebody else, ready to be around somebody else, okay. But I was very aware of all the occurrences. Every time he tried to move on with somebody else, she was always there. So that's why I told him, go be with her, focus on her. I can care about somebody, love somebody, but if I see stuff that's very obvious, I'm not gonna like keep putting myself through that when I know that the person, like, obviously has feelings for somebody else. Like, you can come back to me once you realize, like, okay, this is not the person. Bitch, my fucking camera I'm about to put this off because I'm in panties, but I'm about to cover this because y'all can't see my booty. It done got bigger. Okay. Y'all can't see. I'll be right back. Gotta get my charger. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, it was frustrating to me because if I'm telling you to leave, like, bitch, what the fuck?